All right, I'm so excited to walk you through a little bit of this dashboard that I created because I'm collecting data from my email list on Evergreen. How am I doing that? What are the mechanisms for this? But really, like walking you through this dashboard on how I'm able to actually show this data in a real world scenario. So, the interesting thing, if you don't know about me, my name is Tina. I help knowledge creators like you automate your business so that you can avoid burnout and stay in your zone of genius. And one of those things that you kind of need to know in order to figure out what to work on is having the data to back up the decisions that you're working on in your business, right? And so I created this dashboard and it's really broken out into two areas. We have our opt-in quiz. So think of this as a person who joins your email list and they fill out a quiz so that you can collect more information about them. And then we have our internal email quiz. So think of this as you're running a survey in your welcome email sequence and you want to be able to get data on that. Now I've been able to create our email to survey database automations where essentially if anyone fills out a survey in my email list, I can automatically collect that data and put it into a dashboard that you see here. Now, this is like the pretty version, but it's really like broken out into here in terms of like all the information. There's this automation that brings that, the opt-in quiz information into this database as well as the email survey quiz into this database as well. And so you could definitely like just keep it the way it is and try to like filter through that data and like look through it, or you can actually create a dashboard. So, if you want more information on this dashboard and how to really use it in your business, definitely feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and comment data so I can send you more information on ways to do this. But let's kind of walk a little bit through this dashboard. So, this is our Evergreen market data audience dashboard so far in terms of all of the data that we've been able to collect so far from our email list, our opt-in quiz, things like that, is we have 93 users or subscribers collected. 41 people of that filled out the opt-in quiz, and then 52 people have filled out the internal email quiz. Now, one of the things that I really like about the opt-in quiz is that it takes advantage of the individual's intent. The highest intent a person that's going to fill out a quiz is when they're signing up for your email list. So you want to be able to get that data on the front end, right? And so I have a quiz on the background. And really, I wanted to understand a little bit about like what is the stage that people are coming at? Where are they coming from? Where do people like to spend their time on? And so the interesting thing is that like looking at the data, one of the things why you're seeing all these other fields, this may be something I need to fix, is people can actually type the platform that they want to see if the option's not on here as an example, right? But one of the interesting things is that like it's really good to know what platform your audience is learning from, because it really helps you as the knowledge creator determine what platform you should spend your time on, right? And so looking at this, looking at the audience that I'm attracting, it looks like majority of my audience is either on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, right? And so this allows me to focus more of my efforts perhaps maybe on Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook. And I know that, right? So instead of spending a ton of time on TikTok or YouTube, that's not maybe where my audience actually lands or where they learn from, right? And so that's good information to know. Now, another good thing to know is to figure out the type of individuals that you are attracting to your email list, right? And so for me, like it looks like I have a lot of maybe beginners on my email list, and that's okay. That's data. Data doesn't lie, and it's good to have that data. And then you can see like the total aggregate of the people that you're attracting. Now, this is something that is going to be new, so I just started this process, but over time you're going to see it. But basically, I want to see the stage that people that I'm attracting over time, right? So think of this bottom line as a month. So in March, as an example, we just did that data. But basically, like I want to see if like maybe in April, in May, any content changes that I'm making, is that changing the type of individual that I'm attracting? Because eventually I want to attract to the individual that's a little bit more at an advanced stage, right? So how am I tracking that? Well, I'm tracking those trends by month and seeing what stage they're at by month over time. And another thing is you want to identify what is their title? Like, what do they self-identify as? And so the interesting thing is, I can honestly tell people if I'm looking at sponsors or if I'm looking at just people who want to collaborate, I can tell them, well, it looks like I actually have a lot of digital product creators on my email list and in my audience, which is pretty cool, right? And so if I want to see, like, again, the trends over time, I can see over time, like, okay, if I'm doing any content changes, right? If I want to target more coaches as an example, then I want to know, like, over time, if I'm making any content changes, is that actually helping me over time? So over time, as we add more information, as the years go past or the months go past, we'll see that, and we'll see like how big these gaps are in that place. Now, this is something that doesn't have data, but over time we will. Again, this is the beginning stages, but I think it's really good to have this dashboard. But like, if people are filling out the opt-in quiz and they want to give me more information or things to know, then this is a good way to grab that data right then and there. So then we have our internal email quiz, right? So this is kind of collecting information on Evergreen, where if a person is joining the email list, maybe in my welcome sequence, I have a quiz in there as well. Then I want to see, a little bit more information about them, what they're working on, what they'd like to see, things like that. And so it looks like 52 people out of the total users collected have actually filled out the quiz, which is pretty cool. And I can actually just like look at this information, right? And so looking at this internal email quiz in terms of what do people need help building, I kind of like think of these two things. I create these two options. It's like either you click one or the other in the quiz. And so it looks like it's 50-50. People want to know more about email funnels, but people also want to know how to attract clients. And this is a good way for me to determine, like, again, like, what is it that people are working on? And so if someone who wants to create automated email funnels, it looks like they're the type of individuals that's a little bit more advanced, right? Versus creating offers to attract clients, right? So it's kind of like one versus the other. And then the other thing is revenue stage, right? In terms of like, what are they actually needing help with? It looks like it's kind of on that trend with my current audience is a little bit more in the beginner phase, where they're really focusing on growing the revenue and increasing sales. But I do have a small percentage of my audience that is just really focused on profit margins. And I feel like profit margins is more of an advanced individual. So it's really good to see that information. And so another thing is effort stage. Like, are these individuals motivated to really work on their business, right? And so are they trying to maintain a balance, or are they like fully all in their business, right? And so I think having that information is pretty cool again. And so I'm thinking that over time, eventually I want to see individuals who are a little bit more, maybe with my content strategy, I want to see individuals joining the list who are a little bit more on like the bottom stage in terms of, increasing profit margins, more in the hustle mode, because I think the type of content that I'm creating is going to be more catered to that. And so another cool thing is that in my email survey, I kind of just have like, hey, let me know anything else that you want me to know, right? And so this is where I can get actually really great qualitative like feedback. And so it's awesome because then I can actually like just look at it from a high level of like, okay, like, what is it that people are needing? What are the things that, maybe they like or don't like about my newsletter or anything like that? This is just good information to know, but it also is a great opportunity for people to fill out testimonials, right? And so this is a pretty cool way for me to grab that information. So if you are someone who wants to be able to, take evergreen data from your email list and you want to be able to create dashboards and make informed decisions, then definitely feel free to comment the word data and connect with me on LinkedIn, and we will actually connect and I'll show you the next steps on how we can actually implement this. But definitely feel free to join the waitlist of Leverage Creator, where we show you not only how to do things like this, but also, all the steps in the strategy to automate your business so that you can avoid burnout and truly stay in your zone of genius. But that's all I got. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.